Man, this guy is really something. This guy is really something. He loves to joke around. This is wild, but he always does this. This guy is something else. He's one of one in the NBA. He's the only one really doing wild stuff like this right now, and it's crazy, but I enjoy the hell out of it. So, when it comes to reasons as to why I love Jimmy Butler, I point to moments like this because this is pure entertainment. Everybody's seen the picture. It's been going around today. I was confused as to what I saw, but then again, I understand this is who Jimmy is, and it didn't surprise me in the slightest that he chose to do this again. So, obviously, today is media day for the NBA. You got all the superstars and star players and everyone else pulling up to address the media. You're getting in your jerseys. You're taking your pictures. These pictures, by the way, will be the pictures the NBA uses when they're trying to, preview games that are going to be happening throughout the week. When you have a huge matchup between two great teams and you have two superstar players there, you post their picture, say this player versus that player, this team versus that team. They always do it. It's how they do their promotions. The pictures they're taking right now on Media Day will be used as the profile picture of all these stars. And Jimmy knows this. So everyone's showing up. Everyone's showing up, getting themselves prepared. And here comes Jimmy Butler. He enters the arena. He's walking in, and everyone's looking at him and saying, what is he wearing? And what has he done to his hair? Jimmy Butler walks in all black. He's wearing boots. He has his hair down covering one of his eyes. He has piercings on. He's got the lip piercings, the nose piercings around his eyes. He looks like he's goth. He looks like he's goth. He's really embracing that dark nature, that dark energy. He's feeling himself right now, and everybody's confused as to what he's wearing. He then puts on his Heat jersey, and he goes up to the podium dressed in his Heat uniform, and everyone's looking at him like, what is he doing? And some start laughing. And Jimmy just says, I'm emo. So, ladies and gentlemen, this season, we have Emo Jimmy Butler. I don't know what that means in all honesty, but that's who we have, Emo Jimmy. Now, I saw people actually concerned about Jimmy looking like this because they're like, is he going to look like this the entire season? This is kind of wild. Is he okay? Is he going through something? Did that situation involving Damian Lillard really get him feeling like this, that he had to make this change? What's going on with Jimmy Butler? The individuals that are asking this question clearly do not understand who Jimmy is because this guy loves to do this, and it's not the first time he's done this. This is the same dude that pulled up to Media Day last year with full dreads, and everyone's looking at him thinking, what is he doing? So he did this last year, took his media photos with the dreads. Then come regular season, he's back to his normal braids. You know, he always gets his braids tied up in that normal look, and he puts his headband on. He's back to his normal look in terms of how he always goes on the court and looks. So he had full-on dreads Media Day, but once the season started, those dreads were gone. And the NBA was forced to use that picture whenever they had to do promotions for upcoming Heat matchups. Whenever they had Jimmy Butler on the screen, that was the picture they had to put up. And they were so pissed off about that at one point, they used a 2K photo of Jimmy Butler. It's the same thing here. Last year, it was Dreads Jimmy. This year, it's Emo Jimmy. And they're going to have to use that picture when it comes to promoting Heat games this season. And they're going to get pissed again. I would not be surprised if we see them try to use a photo of previous years or pull up another 2K photo. They're going to have to do that again. Because if they don't, that's the picture of Jimmy Butler they're going to have to use. And I don't think the NBA wants to. They're going to be forced to, potentially. But, man, it's tough for them. It is really, really tough for them when Jimmy starts trolling like this. But I love it. I love it. This is what Jimmy does. And it's just who he is. He's always messing around. He's always trolling around. That's what he does. On the flip side, though, I will say, this look for Jimmy Butler is a fantastic representation of how Heat fans feel right now. because the whole Damian Lillard saga just drained us. It was a wave of emotion throughout the entirety of this process because we're all sitting here thinking we're going to get Dame. It's only a matter of time before Dame ends up in Miami. We're going to get this trade done. And then we're hearing report after report come out. Oh, talks are not progressing. Things aren't happening. They want this player for that. They want more. They don't like the Heat's package. Maybe things are heating up. So many emotions were happening just for it to end up being a situation that ends so poorly for the Heat in more ways than one. So not only do the Miami Heat not get Damian Lillard, he gets traded to this conference to the Milwaukee Bucks. So now Dame is partnered up with Giannis. And to make it even worse, the Bucks trade in that Damian Lillard trade, they traded Drew Holiday to the Blazers, and then the Celtics went out and traded with the Blazers to get Drew Holiday to Boston. So now you got Dame and you got Giannis in Milwaukee, and then in Boston you have Tatum, you have Brown, you have Holiday. That's the worst possible outcome for the Heat. And yes, the Heat roster did get better. We lost Strus. We lost Vincent. Strus is in Cleveland. Vincent's in LA with the Lakers. I got you. We lost some players. And we were able to replace some of those guys. We added some talent. So overall, the roster has improved from what it was last season. But the fact that we couldn't get Damian Lillard, and now two teams we got to compete with that we faced off against in the playoffs last year got better, that's a concern. So obviously, Heat fans right now are very emotional as to how that situation went down, and it's been a toughie. So Jimmy Butler's look is a perfect representation of how we feel as Heat fans because we're going through it. It's an emotional time. There are Heat fans that are still heated about how this situation went, and they've been talking about it on Twitter, and they have not let it go. I've seen a lot of Heat fans just go straight at the Blazers in terms of how they handled the situation. They're so pissed off. They're just cursing that franchise and hoping the absolute worst for that organization. It has been a tough time for Heat fans. And Jimmy's look is a perfect representation of that. But at the end of the day, we just move forward. Like Jimmy said, he was happy, he was excited, then he was angry, then he was sad, then he was happy again, and then he was pissed off, and then he was sad, and now he's happy again. So it's just a wave of emotions. It's a process. At the end of the day, those situations happen. We just got to move forward. And like you said, he's looking forward to trying to go up against Dame and beating Dame and Giannis and the Celtics and getting back to the finals and hopefully winning a championship. We're just going to keep it trucking. It's unfortunate that this is the route we have to take, but Miami, that's just what they love to do, man. It's never easy for the Heat. It's never easy for the Heat, and it's just going to continue to be that way. So we're just going to have to grind. We are going to have to grind. You have Jimmy Butler as your leader. You still have Bam, who's a great player. Tyler Hero, you hope he can take the next step. You got a bunch of great talent on this team. Granted, some of it being young talent, and you're hoping guys like Jovic can actually develop. But, you just got to utilize who you have on the team. At the end of the day, Miami, they're going to be able to compete. Be it them competing and getting bounced out in the first round or them competing and getting to the NBA Finals, they're going to be a competitive team and they're going to be a playoff team at the end of the day. This is a team, you got your guy in Jimmy Butler, you got talent around them, be it it's not the most talented team, it's never been the most talented team, but you got some good talent around them, and then some of the guys on the roster still have a lot of playoff experience, and they've performed well in the playoffs. We hope to see more of what we saw from Caleb Martin in this upcoming season. We hope to see that. You got the resurgence of Duncan Robinson, and you hope he can continue to play at that level. You just don't know. Obviously, you brought back Richardson. You see what he can do, and hope he can be an asset. You just got a lot of guys here, and you just hope that the talent is able to live up to the potential. But Miami, they're going to get the best out of these players. You have the best coach in basketball in Eric Spoelstra. You got a lot of talent and a lot of guys dedicated to knowing their role and playing their role to the best of their ability. And Miami's just going to be prepared. No matter who they face off against in the playoffs, they're going to be prepared. Obviously, it's a long season and we got to get to the playoffs. But as long as we can stay healthy, they'll be a top 5 or 6 seed in the Eastern Conference and they'll be in the postseason. That's just how it is. Last year, the reason we were a playing team was because we dealt with injuries throughout the season. If we can stay healthy, we'll be a top 5 or 6 seed at the end of the day. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Miami's just going to keep on trucking, and we're just going to keep moving forward. You didn't get Dame. You didn't get Bradley Beal. You didn't get any of the other superstars you've been pursuing in the last 2 to 3 years. It is what it is. We just keep moving forward, and we just go out there and play Heat basketball. That's how we do it. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Jimmy Butler continues to be wild. This is who he is. This is what he does, and I love him for it. It is what it is at the end of the day. If you get what Jimmy does, you're fine with it. If you don't get what Jimmy does, you're looking at him sideways and confused as to why he's doing this. That's just how things go. But that's all I got to say about this. I'm ready for the NBA season. It's going to be an interesting one, knowing we have to deal with Dame and Giannis, and then Tatum, Brown, and Drew Holiday. Though I actually do like, well, not even just Holiday, but also Porzingis, because they got him too. But I do like our matchup with Boston, because they lost some size by trading Robert Williams, which is going to make things a whole lot more easier for Bam to cook. So I like a matchup with the Celtics. But the Bucks, I'm not here to talk about that, because I'm just thinking how you're supposed to deal with that. You can't build a wall around Giannis anymore, because Dame's going to have the ball, and he's going to be a threat. Either way, it is what it is. I'm not going to think about that right now. We'll see how the season goes. That's all I got to say. Thanks for watching, and I'm out of here. Peace.